Overwatch 2 on Nintendo Switch. Is it the best version of this game, or is it worth getting it on other devices like PlayStation or PC? Or that other thing? Well, something that actually might help this decision is, well, it's actually free to play. So if you have every console, you could download it on every console for free. But the main question is the Switch version the best version? So let's boot up the Switch version and watch over it. First thing we have to do is log into the game. Just waiting in queue. Getting into this game has taken well over an entire day, and it is occasionally possible to get into a game on both the Switch and a high-end PC, but most likely you'll just be booted back to the queue. This is most certainly due to the fact that this is launch day, and the servers are absolutely crammed. And I'm no server pro, but I would think that these massive game companies should expect this kind of traction, especially on launch day. And this isn't the first time we've seen these kind of server issues from this company either. So we had to wait an entire day to play any version of Overwatch 2, and we finally got into a game every once in a while, but there are still server issues. But we should throw server issues aside, especially considering I'm sure they'll be fixed in the near future. But now back to the Switch version. Obviously the Switch will be running this game at a lower resolution and frame rate, but is it noticeable enough to avoid getting this version? From having this game in 2019 on the Switch, it'll be interesting to see some graphics changes that they've made to this version. Comparing this to other versions, it's clear the shadows are not clearly as crisp and the lighting is not as apparent, but it's not terrible. For a free game to play, you can't really complain about visuals like these. What's most noticeable is the cut in frame rate. It's not a smooth 30 frames per second, but it's not terrible either. This just isn't ideal for a first-person shooter, but this is what you should expect at this point from a Switch game. It's just crazy to see current gen consoles easily running this game at 120 frames per second. Which I can't show on YouTube because YouTube only allows the support for 60 frames per second. But just know, you can play this at 120 frames per second if your TV and monitor supports it. But jumping back into the graphics, there's also some assets missing, but it's not noticeable unless you're looking for them. As far as the game itself goes, it's more of Overwatch. If you played the first, you'll be instantly familiar with this version. There are some balance changes to heroes and such, but that's better left for a more in-depth video. We're just looking at the Switch version. And as for the heroes themselves, they're all here along with a few new additions. Jumping into the game, you'll notice a new shop and battle pass. The loot boxes you may have gotten used to in Overwatch 1 are gone, and have been replaced by these. If you were a player of Overwatch 1 though, don't worry, all your unlocked items will carry over to this version. The battle pass is entirely new this time around. As you play games, you'll level up and unlock items that are either free or part of the premium battle pass. If you come from games like Fortnite, you'll know exactly how this works. Now, onto the actual gameplay. While the game is searching for matches, you can choose to mess around in one of these lobbies. There's not a ton to do here aside from shoot other people, but it's better than staring at a loading screen. When we finally managed to get into a match, it went pretty well. As mentioned, the frame rate wasn't the highest, but it's definitely playable. And in this version, they've incorporated gyro controls, which is a nice touch to fine-tune your aim, but it takes some getting used to, just like in Splatoon 3. Here you can see me playing dock mode, and it's running pretty well. It runs well in handheld mode too, and this is where this version of the game really shines. There's no other console versions of this game that you can take with you on a trip, or play while you're on a bus or train. It's important to note though, that you'll need an internet connection to play this game, as one of the main reasons you might want to play the Switch version is because you'll want the convenience of handheld. And a large majority of people very likely won't be able to access the internet when using the Switch while on the go. So should you pick up the Switch version of Overwatch 2? Why not? It's free after all. What do you have to lose? It's not a bad game at all. And while I haven't really played it enough myself to decide if it's a good game, since it's free, there's not really any reason for you not to find out for yourself. But to answer my question, is it the best on Switch? Probably not. Because of the clear resolution and frame rate downgrade, it's not the best on Switch, and you'll probably want to download it on something else if that's an option. But let me know if you've been able to play Overwatch 2 yet. It's been very difficult for me. So I just want to know your experiences, and if you're experiencing that exact same thing. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can click on another video right here and subscribe right here. But that's it for today's video. I hope to see you in the next one. See you later.